I got bad news for you when it comes to the Thunder. The Thunder are the new San Antonio Spurs, but in a bad way. Because all the numbers that come out remind me of what the Spurs were. And here's the thing. The Spurs at least were boring, you know what I mean? Fundamentally sound, not that exciting, right? But they won. The Thunder got something going on, and people don't seem to be interested or be enamored with this team. And I'm already here to predict that when the Pacers beat the Knicks, it will be the lowest rated finals in the post-COVID era. I'm convinced of that. And let me tell you about the Spurs. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Spurs were in two of the lowest NBA finals pre-COVID. 2007 versus the Cavs and 2003 against the New Jersey Nets. Just
I remember that.
Awful, right? Small market, kind of like, we talk about, you say this all the time, baseball's regional.
Mm-hmm.
NBA can be very regional as well if it's not involving the big teams. And
that's true.
And we
Very
have
true.
seen that.
Very true.
Because there's no reason why people should be afraid to tune in to watch SGA, right? And this rising star and this unbelievable team with the numbers and the defense and all the stuff that has piled up. This isn't a team that backed their way in and, oh, my God, I can't believe they were a wild card and somehow something happened and two players ran into each other and they picked up the ball and laid it up and won the game. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
This is not like the Keystone Cops. They're dominated all year. All year, even at one point, thinking they might be, challenging the Golden State Warriors for the most wins in a regular season.
They were ahead of them for a while.
That's what I mean, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And none of it seems to matter. And I get it. The blowouts in the games. People watched the Dream Team. Any of those games competitive? The original Dream Team.
No, they were winning by like 45.
Oh, okay. People watched it. They still wanted to see the demolition of it. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you do want to see the fire, and you do want to watch and see
the
even
crash,
though
the train wreck.
Exactly, you do, and the gawkers, you know that. So I if I'm the NBA, I'm a little worried here that this new hotness of the NBA is only new hotness in Oklahoma City and maybe the surrounding areas, but not the United States proper, because this is not a good thing. And anybody who challenged me and tell me that if the Pacers are playing, because, again, the Pacers and being regional, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers and OKC will rank as one of the lowest rated finals. I already know that.
Well, I don't disagree at all. And if you're the NBA, you're praying Jalen Brunson goes crazy like he did last night and pulls off a stunning comeback from down 3-1 against the Pacers. A couple of things we've talked about, and I mentioned this earlier in the week. And even last week, actually, I think it was last Friday, I mentioned that some of the issues that the Thunder have, to add to your point, is that they don't have the coupling, meaning, okay, you got the MVP, but who's the other guy? Right? Usually we get them in pairs. You got Scottie and Michael, Shaq and Kobe, Kareem and Magic, Bird and McHale, or Robert Porter. It's just really SGA. Now, Jalen Williams is really good, and Chet is on his way to being a really good player.
Williams was an all-star.
Yeah, but everybody always – when your team wins a bunch of games –
No, but I'm just saying,
Atlanta
but he was an
Hawks,
all-star.
Kyle Korver was an all-star in like 2016 or 15 or something like that, because his team was by far the best record in the Eastern Conference, that Atlanta Hawks. And they had Al Horford, Joe Johnson, somebody else, and Kyle Korver. So it happens where when you're the by far leading your conference with the record, you're going to get multiple all-stars. Happens all the time. So they don't have that. I mentioned they don't have a name of the team. Usually when you're really this good, you get something, Rob. You get a Splash Brothers, a Showtime, a Detroit basketball. They don't have it. Right now, they're just the Thunder. They're not the Heatles. They're nothing like that. And usually you have that, and it brings some type of thing. People want to watch you.
Yeah,
So
only thing is the teams you all mentioned, just bigger markets. OKC's a really small market. So is San Antonio. I really believe market size.
Splash Brothers, Oakland wasn't that big.
Nah, but that's next to San Francisco.
But I think if they had something,
that's the region, the Bay Area. You don't.
But I mean, if they, and I get your point, but I'm saying if they had something, right now it's just, man, they just play a lot of defense with a bunch of guys that you don't know outside of one or two guys. So here's what I'm thinking and hoping, or if you're Adam Silver, you're praying for. It reminds me, Rob, of J. Cole versus Drake. Nas versus Jay-Z. It's one of those purist things, right? Jay-Z can rap his butt off, but he knows he wants to go a little commercial, make some commercial hits, and kind of be played on a bunch of different stations. Nas in his prime was more of a just straight up wordsmith, storyteller, a pure hip-hop, a purist. J. Cole, when he first comes out, he was trying to go pop in mainstream, but it didn't really work because at his heart, he's a purist. He's a hip-hop artist, a rapper. Drake, who can rap, is much more mainstream, much more pop. And I say that to say, you hope that basketball purists would tune in to the Thunder and Pacers. Basketball lovers who love the game, who love it at a high level, high-quality basketball, high IQ basketball, would tune in and enjoy it and make it something, and the ratings maybe wouldn't suffer as bad as we predict they would. So that's what the NBA is banking on, that the purists will show up like they show up for Nas, like they show up for J. Cole, like they show up for Kendrick, even though they may not be the most commercial, a la a Lakers, a la a Knicks, or a la, the Warriors or something, Boston, some of these mainstream blue blood teams. That's what you're hoping for. Otherwise, if it's just Pacers and Thunder, yeah, we might see, I'm predicting maybe a 15% drop from last year.
Well, outside of the bubble, Game 5 versus Minnesota was the least watched Western Conference final game since 2013.
Yeah.
The full 5-game series, Thunder versus Timberwolves, averaged 5.59 million, down 17% from the Mavericks and Timberwolves just a year ago, and it was the least watched conference final since 2021. So that's 4 years. So there's just a lot of bad numbers. And if it was a fluke team, I could see it. This is a team that all year, right, them and Cleveland were winning at a high clip. So people were prepared for this all year, knowing like, oh, okay, wow, SGA is going to do his thing. Wow, they did it. We thought that they were too young. And like, there's an intrigue that should be there. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is
why I was telling you, Rob. I'm with you. Yesterday, I was saying, if they had closer games where we saw SGA go on. Remember when LeBron was playing the Pistons and he scores 25 straight, and we're like, oh my gosh, look, this kid has arrived. He had a moment, and whoa, LeBron's been good, but he can't do it against the Cavs or the Celtics in that Game 6. I'm saying if SGA along the way was having closer games where he could remind people or show people I can close out, I can outduel Ant Edwards, I think that would have added to the intrigue. When you're blowing everybody out,
I still don't think it would have been.
I agree. It would be a lesser, for sure.
I think,
but it would
really
help some. You get what I mean? Because you're like, "Whoa, man, that boy! I'm telling you, man, he had to drop 50 on." He don't have to drop 50 because the games aren't close.
I just think people are really. It depends on who's playing, and people are into. Just like when I just gave you like the Nets with Jason Kidd, they went to 2 finals, I think, in a row.
02, 03, yeah,
right, and had terrible rate. Nobody in New York watched those. Like they could care less.
Which is crazy because there was alley-oops and Kenny Martin
and they had
and
a
Richard
fun
Jefferson.
team, 100%.
Kerry Kittle shooting threes.
100%.
That was actually a pretty fun team.
Like, you wouldn't even know that they were even in the finals. You know what I mean?
I wonder if that was Spurs more than
no, I think
they're
it's a
playing
combination.
The Spurs because
New Jersey doesn't even
have
New Jersey doesn't even have a TV market. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the weirdest.
Oh, it's just New York. Yeah,
they don't have a TV market, so they're kind of in no man's land. South Jersey is the 76ers. Above Jersey and New York is the Knicks, and then right in northern New Jersey is where the Nets play.
Yeah, I wonder what the Nets Lakers was. What was that? 02? Yes, what that 02 was.
Rob G has it.
Yeah.
You ask and you shall receive.
Oh, dang, Rob G. All right, that's why you goated, Rob G.
So here we go. 2002, Lakers Nets did a 10.2 million viewers or 10.2 rating. The following season, those same Nets taking on the San Antonio Spurs in a series that went 6 games, 2 more games than the previous series with Lakers mopped the floor with them, dropped 40%.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean.
That's
like,
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
The Spurs, you're right. I'm saying that did not help. Like, because meaning the Nets was a fun team against the Lakers.
But
You're like, all right.
Right. But I'm saying that's why I think OKC's the new Spurs. And that's, even though they won the 5 championships spread out over 20 years, it really wasn't a feast for the NBA.
I do wonder, Rob G, and maybe you can hit us with these numbers after the break, but when it had the Spurs Heat, those Heatles, that had to have been fun because those 2 series were great. One where Ray Allen
one
saves
of them was
the Heat.
low, right? Oh, no,
then,
that was Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then the next year, the Spurs get their revenge.
Yeah,
so I'd imagine those
but that's
did pretty
different
well.
because you got LeBron in it, and so that's going to
But I'm with you, man. Okay, see, that's what I said, dude. They have a collegiate way of scoring. I mean, it's a bunch of different guys you don't know, and it's great for them, and it makes them play the basketball the right way, but it isn't the most entertaining.